Good evening, everyone on Facebook. We are back for our final episode. Now, I know this should have happened Saturday, but, sometimes fixing people's heat is more important than doing a Facebook Live video. So here we are tonight, Martin Luther King Jr. Day evening. Hopefully everybody is staying warm. It's like between 10 to 15 degrees outside, no matter where you are here in the Dayton area, which is a perfect evening to discuss our final verdict of Electrify All the Things, where we've been discussing what's best, a gas furnace for heat or a heat pump with electric heat. And there we go. So again, what we had discussed is a test setup reviewing a gas furnace to heat our garage and a heat pump with electric heat. These are our 2 weeks that we discussed. As you can see here, the average temperature was pretty much the same. We're actually a little bit colder in the second week for the furnace, so maybe a slight credit to the furnace. I'm not sure how that works. I think golfers will call that a handicap, but it is what it is. Now, last week we had talked about the actual costs to run the heat pump versus the furnace. Here's our chart. As you can see, as the temperature here gets colder, our heating requirement actually increases. Now, what I've done here, and our formatting's a little bit off here, so I apologize for that, is we've put our actual heat capacities for our various components which we're showing you to heat on our chart so you can see where they actually line up. Obviously, a straight line across is our furnace on high and low, and also our electric strip heat. So our electric strip heat output is right here on the orange dotted line. Our heat pump capacity actually changes based on our outdoor air temperature. And the colder it gets, the less heat we get out of this heat pump. Now, to be fair, this curve or line is not a made-up line. That is based on actual data published by the manufacturer of the specific heat pump that we are using. And it is based on the specific tonnage as well. So, as you can see, once we get down to approximately 30 degrees, the heat pump will run and will be unable to heat. So anytime we get below 30 degrees, we have to turn on the electric strip heat. Now, the strip heat on its own, unless it gets much below zero, actually has plenty of capacity to heat the garage on its own. So, as you can see here, the furnace and the heat pump are, with the backup electric heat, are pretty well matched. Now let's get down to our cost comparison here. And this is based on cost data that we used last week. Based on our 2-week comparison, it was approximately $15 for 1 week to heat the garage with the aforementioned heat pump and electric backup heat strip. The following week with the furnace cost us just under $9. Now, how did we come up with those? Well, it's based on runtime. Because you're going to say, Frank, I thought that the heat pump cost significantly less to operate compared to the furnace. Now, per hour, yes, that's true. But as you can see, we had almost 30 hours, or just over 30 hours of runtime with our furnace, and we had almost 71 hours with the heat pump. So this is why we have to look at heat pumps and furnaces with an open mindset. So what are we getting to here? What is our actual verdict? What does Frank say? Is it the furnace or is it the heat pump? It might surprise you. I say both. I believe that the perfect combination of heating for your house is a heat pump for mild outdoor air temperatures and a furnace for everything that is colder. So this is what we call a dual fuel system. And this is the optimum way to heat if you have gas or propane available. So when we use the heat pump, and I'm going to go back to our load chart here. So whenever we're looking at a heat pump, we want to look at where it's actually efficient to operate. In this case, for our garage, anytime that it is 31 degrees outside or warmer, the heat pump actually makes more sense to heat with. And this balance point here, of course, is the point at which the heat pump input equals the heat lost from the building. So going back to our dual fuel slide here, I believe running the heat pump when it is a more favorable outdoor air condition is optimal, because you can actually use the heat pump when it costs less per hour to run, and it has the capacity to actually heat. But anytime that it's beyond that, let's use the furnace, and maybe even use the furnace for your morning warm-up when you set back for the night, if that's what you do. Now, some contractors, and we're not naming names, will publish commercials that state that heat pumps are up to 450 times more efficient than a gas furnace, and they can heat your house better. First things first, a heat pump today can be up to 4.5 times more efficient than a comparable gas furnace. But what we have to look at is our actual heating loads here in the Dayton area. Most homes that here in the Dayton area that are between, let's say, 1,500 to 2,000 square foot, which is just about the majority of the homes in the Dayton area. There are bigger and there are smaller. But these homes typically have between a 2 to 3 ton air conditioner and a 60 to 100,000 BTU gas furnace. For those that like to do the math, 1 ton is 12,000 BTUs. So we're looking at 24 to 36,000 BTUs of heat. So if I have what the term is a cold climate heat pump, that's supposed to be the one that can do full capacity heating when it's 0 degrees or even colder outside. So we have a limitation there. I cannot take a home that has a 3-ton air conditioner, for example, and put a cold climate heat pump in it that will provide the full capacity heating of a home at 0 degrees. It would require way too much airflow. And of course, in cooling mode, it would be oversized, which means that your house would be cold, but it would be very, very muggy. So what we have to look at is the honesty to tell you that, yes, these cold climate heat pumps are great. They're wonderful. It's nothing like the old school Florida heat pumps from even 15 or 20 years ago that a lot of people don't like. They didn't like them because they were inefficient and always needed the electric heat. But we have to look at this through the eye of what makes sense for you. So this is my preferred recommendation. Let's run a heat pump until it gets too cold for the heat pump to be efficient. And I don't care whether it's a basic efficiency heat pump or if you want to get one of our new 20 SEER ultra high efficiency heat pumps. The only difference between those is going to be at what point do we either turn on your electric heat or switch over to the gas or propane, or to your natural gas or propane furnace. I'm going to encourage you to go with the heat pump and the gas furnace. The electric heat is the most expensive aspect here, and that's what we want to minimize. So, that is our summary. And yes, it took 4 weeks to get to this, but that's because I want you to understand what actually goes into the thought process of this is how we pick what's right for your house. Now, to be clear, what is actually right for your house depends on your insulation, the age of your home, how you use your home, and what efficiency of furnace, air conditioner, heat pump, etc. that you have. These numbers are literally based on this garage. And as you can see, Patricia is very, very comfortable because we have a piece of equipment that is sized correctly. It works like it's supposed to. And like it's supposed to means it gets its rated heating and cooling, and it uses the correct amount of energy as defined by the manufacturer, and we have proper airflow and all that other good stuff that we always check. Now, let's see if I can get that to go away. So now, let's see if I can figure out how to flip the camera. All right, there we go. So, I told you guys in the previous event before I had to actually go fix the system that I was going to have a special for you guys. So, we ran a Christmas special that was up to $4,500 off of a new furnace and air conditioning system. We're going to extend that to the end of this month. That way, if you guys didn't get a chance to take care of it, or you said, I didn't know you guys were doing that, well, it's back up for the end of this month. So if that's something you're interested in, get in touch with us. We can get you the details on it. We can come out and get you an estimate. It's a great opportunity to save a little bit of money on a nice high-efficiency heating and cooling system. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you don't watch this tonight, hopefully you're watching it, with your coffee or whatever in the morning. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.